because they've already locked themselves into second seed. Navi are a top 2 team, and now they have to put up and show that they're better than MKOI.
Yeah, MKOI with the win will secure playoffs, and I mean, we just heard from Elyoya, they think that they can do it, they can turn it on when it has to happen, but it has to happen now. And as we get into the draft, you can see Yunara Orianna already taken away. So still looking to see things like the Rumble, the Azir, these kind of picks still up and available as we walk our way through this.
I feel like for Navi, we can kind of dissect how their drafts have been going. Maynter, most of the time, the Sion, the Cassante, tank top with a flair of carry, but usually he's been a role player. For Rhilech, these top lanes in the jungle, he's had a bit of a flair of the Ambassadors as well as the Aatroxes, a Kiana to start the split off. There's been certain dynamics with this team, Dagda, very straightforward. I feel like already taking it away is MKOI. They get rid of Rhilech's jungle pick. They get rid of Poby's pick as well. And the Yunara, which is strong, have done their homework.
Imagine it'll be the Rumble gone next. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so Azir, the one that you think of, Jojo's also kind of defaulted towards this in a lot of situations. It means you can respond still with things like the Taliyah if you'd like to. And we've seen like Taliyah Pantheon, Taliyah Vi as combos that can answer into the Azir. We'll have to see if that is going to be the game call here, or if they want to try and put their focus elsewhere.
Yeah, with no Varus up, that first pick, you're right, it could just be an Azir and then response from Navi.
Yeah. Unless they feel confident on the Jace. Like Jace at least has been decent, but it's going to be the Vi.
Vi first pick. Elyoya has played this a couple of games, but still, like, I don't think we've seen a Vi first pick in the LEC.
So this base is kind of a call-out to me, saying, okay, Poby, you take the Azir, we can take the Taliyah, and MKOI can fall back on what worked for them in summer, which was trying to play through these strong side lanes with Jojo as your main point of focus.
Yep.
And if Myrwn then can end up getting some sort of good pick for himself in that top side as well, you can have this solid side lane pressure that can try and come through. But there's the Pantheon that we were talking about. And now it is a question of Navi just take the Taliyah, kind of call the bluff from MKOI and say, no, you can have the Azir. We're actually happy enough to just try and take the Taliyah instead.
It's just interesting to me because, again, Dagda, I'm just kind of looking. I'm seeing, was it Navi that played the Jace Rise against, or was that MKOI's comp? It was MKOI because Myrwn was on the Poppy. So Jace would have been a viable option, but they're veering away from it. I do like your prediction, though, saying, hey, okay, there's that Azir you mentioned. The Pantheon pairing is obviously taken away because the Vi's already on the side. But now you mentioned the Taliyah. That's an option.
Yeah. The other option is the Rise, but I think, there will be the Taliyah.
Crazy not to, right?
Yeah, I think it's such a strong combo in both of them. And also then you just got the opportunity to try and play for sides. The only change might have been going for a Rise because he is fairly tanky, so can survive a lot of that Pantheon pressure. But Sion, definitely something that can survive a lot of that Pantheon pressure.
Meant to go for something like the Nah here, go for the range matchup and put him in the ground. Again, I was just talking about this guy. He's been a role-playing top laner. He could just go for the Cassante here, Dagda. Like, how many games of Nah has he played so far?
Just the one, but, I mean, could have easily end up moving towards that. I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's going to be the tank killer in the Aatrox that he goes towards
to play.
instead.
Remember, he's talking about this earlier in the split. He's like, yo, Rhilech just keeps taking my champion. Maynter finally gets to play the Aatrox top because we know that Pantheon's going in the jungle.
I'm curious if we end up with Lulu bans here from Navi, though, because you've already got good engage on both the Sion and the Vi, and something like an Aphelios Lulu could be very strong to come through for MKOI with the way the draft is set up at the moment. So I wouldn't be fully surprised to see them maybe even try and ban away the Aphelios himself, or try and take away the Lulu. But actually it's MKOI that ban away the Aphelios instead.
Maybe with the Ezreal fish as well, they're kind of setting up for it. I like that you do bring up hyper carries as well when we do have a Sion on MKOI's side. And a lot of setup already. I'm surprised too as well, Dagda. What else we got? I mean, the Yunara's taken away. Ezreal, Varus, Aphelios we just witnessed as well. But what else do we have in the pool?
The other thing that can pair well with Vi is the Caitlyn, because you can put the trap underneath and then you just go for it. So maybe that's the game plan here for MKOI on this bottom side. We haven't seen it. Sorry, actually I'm looking at the wrong one.
No, you're right.
Yeah, Supa hasn't played it.
Okay. Zaya's gone though.
But yeah, always an option here. Immediate lock-in of the Neeko. Yeah, I mean, you could go Caitlyn Karma if you really want to. Go for the hyper-pushing lane. Neeko doesn't tend to like things like the Karma into her because she can match a lot of the push, and also the AoE speed up in team fights can get you out of that Pop Blossom or reduce a lot of that damage as well. So I'm wondering if that's a thought here for MKOI.
Looking at the Corki now for mobility, if the Corki gets locked in here, I just wonder the Navi AD carry to pair. Things like Siva are available for Sam D. as, okay, Enchanter in the Nami. Now, I truly wonder, for Navi, how do they round this out, Dagda? Sam D, options are Siva, Jhin for range, the Aphelios, the Varus, the Yunara, the Corki, that he's all played the splitter off the table.
Yeah, it may just be the Jhin to be like, okay, I'll open up a curtain call and not actually try and play in towards fights and not give a target for the Vi. But Caitlyn works pretty well as well, and matching that early damage and early push from the Corki.
Great lane presence as well, right? Because Corki's become this bully in lane, thanks to his changes a while back now. Caitlyn, Neeko, very strong 2v2, when we knew Neeko was so good because of her lane bullying prowess. With the Caitlyn, Sam D and Parus, obviously the attention's on them, while the rest are going to be playing out in their isolated lanes.
Yeah, and the reason I was talking about the Karma is that Karma has the opportunity to push the lane into Neeko because she can hit Neeko while also hitting the wave. Nami doesn't have that same level because all of her spells interact with the enemy team.
Yep.
So it means that for Neeko, Caitlyn, you actually have a decent time of getting pushed now in this bottom side of the map. And it means that for Navi, I think that gives you windows to have pressure on this bottom side, even like try and trade Void Grubs for potential dives with this Pantheon on the bottom lane, and really try and hurt Supa and Alvaro.
Quicker snap as well for things like the Tangle Barbs, as well as the Blooming Burst. But we'll see the matchup in action. This 2v2 important, but MKOI throwing a spanner in the works. Its first pick Vi. We're going to find out if it's worth it here for Elyoya as MKOI fight for their spot at playoffs. It is such a crazy LEC split with the fact that MKOI, Fnatic, and G2 are still not locked in. But here instead, we have KC, Navi, and Vitality, along with Giant X, now locked in. What a new realm we're in. LEC ain't the same as before with 12 teams battling it out, rather 10 left to go, 6 spots available. Here's one of them up for grabs. Maybe more.
If you're a team like Navi, potentially pushing MKOI into that knockout territory could be the perfect way for you to start off playoffs. MKOI is a team that from the start of the split we were saying is a potential favorite to win it. Now, they've had a couple of whoopsies which has put them in this position, but if you could actually take MKOI out of playoffs here, Navi could not only do themselves a huge buff, but everyone else who's joining them in that playoff slot.
There it is on the side of the screen for you as Rhilech goes for a deep ward. In fact, this is not just going to be a ward. Maybe he's starting at Raptors. He is indeed. No, red buff for now. Remember, MKOI win, lock playoffs. Navi gets the rats to scurry into it as well.
I love this from Rhilech. You've got 2 pushing bot lanes and 2 enchanter bot lanes that want to really fight for that control of the wave. Now you're causing a split map position, which is just opening up for Sam D and Parus to really try and play through this bottom side of the map. And I don't think it's been spotted. There is a blue ward on the Raptor camp on that top side of the map. But unless MKOI can sniff this out, Elyoya will have to go to the opposite side of the map. He'll probably start pinging it now in a couple of seconds, realizing that Rhilech hasn't shown on this ward yet.
At least it'll take another 20-30 as well, Dagda. I love the point as Poby's just going to face check into Jojo. That hurts here. Navi's mid laner walks into the most aggressive mid laner into the league. Jojo hits 2 first, and Poby down a little bit, has to pop the pots. Has 1 left remaining, as Jojo's now got none. Surprisingly, as there we go, Tangle Barbs combo. The power of this 2v2 lane now shown.
There's a very high chance that we end up with a dive off of this crash with how low Alvaro is. Heal is there. It's cleanse for Supa, but I think if you target Alvaro, there's enough damage. Now Elyoya is going to know, hang on, this is a dangerous boss. But Rhilech is just going back over to his far side, and you can see the response immediately from Elyoya to move into this top half of the map.
Yeah, let's see as well if defensive ward gets placed down. Poby has 1 in inventory. 1 on Raptors would do nicely, but the pressure of the wave pushing into this turret probably just understands that, okay, Rhilech, you're going to lose the top side of your jungle here. This is going to be the trade-off. Maybe still okay with that with the map state, right?
But that's exactly it, right? You wanted to isolate Sam D and Parus, and that's exactly what you've done. And Parus and Sam D have done a good job of hitting most of their spells on this bottom side to put pressure onto MKOI's bot lane. And you already see Maynter's crash the wave, so he's fine. Poby taking a lot of damage, though.
A huge chunk, and this is, we don't always see the matchup exactly like this, but Jojo now running out of mana as Poby spaces nicely from the threaded volley upgrade. He's going to get out of there, but I mean, Jojo is one of the most aggressive laners we have. And that's a very good start for MKOI.
It was also a dicey start for Poby because you are low and you know the Vi is in that top side jungle. So was hovering down towards that bottom side, which would give him a bit of time to react. But always have to be a little bit careful in that sort of situation. Already, you can see Corki gone for the reset though. The tier picked up, which is a nice win for Sam D already in this bottom lane, having forced that reset and got that place.
Sam D gets a push in. Base timing great. Rhilech going to match that as well. And it's about that second clear, Dagda. We've been really focusing on junglers here, about how Elyoya and Rhilech interact now with the respawn of that vertical jungle.
Well, you can already see the pings are going down from Rhilech onto the Raptor camp. He wants to try and look for a reinvade. The biggest issue for him is that you've just had your bot lane reset, which means bot is pushing out, and you can then have MKOI's bot lane play over towards that. So that's why Parus hasn't gone to the bottom lane, is actually sitting around this mid lane to try and help Rhilech in taking away this camp again.
So as Raptor spawns, here's Elyoya. As you said, Alvaro's going to be here first. Parus not too far behind in 2v2, but it make it 3 with Jojo. He's able to snap over the wall. Rhilech flashes into the Taliyah. Jojopyun his, but now Rhilech has no way to get over the wall. He blocks the damage from Elyoya, but he's caught against the hard place. First blood into Jojo's waiting arms as Aqua Prison avoided narrowly by Parus. But MKOI, what a read and what a response.
This wasn't the play from Navi. You couldn't really go for it. You'd push on bot, you'd push in mid. Poby was always going to be second. And Rhilech, as you said, even flashing into the waiting hands of Jojo. Not the start that Navi would have liked for this game.
Jojo freaked out. He's like, what is this Pantheon doing flashing into me? Maybe want to make sure that upgraded Mortal Steel wasn't thrown in his direction. But regardless, first blood over to Jojo. Really nice, especially when he was already winning the lane, already up in CS. Now, 550 gold up as well. Jojo off to the races for this game.
It also slows down Rhilech on hitting that level 6 because you can see how much time he's just kind of wasting the map. Now only just starting his next rotation, the camps, whereas you're kind of moving through that very standardly already as Elyoya. So for the next Scuttle Crab, it's much more important for Elyoya to be able to grab that one. It's up on this top side as well, but Elyoya going for the full clear, so won't have access to that upgraded smite as he tries to go for this.
And I guess only saving grace when we talk about bot lane and their interaction with junglers is the fact that for Sam D and Parus, they have that ward and that entering brush towards Raptors. Of course, Elyoya can always take a long way around, but for now, they felt safe enough getting a bit of push in that lane, still holding pressure, because they believe Elyoya is on the top side of the map where he currently is, as he makes his reset.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on, because Crab is on that top lane.
Yep.
But may just think, well, we know that Rhilech is clearing towards that bottom side. So instead, maybe going to try and make a play in bottom lane before Rhilech can actually get access to the wave. Yeah, looks like he just wants to cover boss, not playing for that level 6 instead.
I was going to say the XP bar's not going to lend itself to it, is it? But Elyoya, as he shadows around mid, let's just see, is he going to get 6 off the leech of the wave? He's walking up a little bit here.
No, he will need to finish the crab if he wants to. Spot on a ward though, which now means that Rhilech has info.
Yep.
That Elyoya is going for this crab on the top side, but I mean, as we said, like he's very far away from level 6. So it's Elyoya, because he got that camp and the assist and the kill, actually using that advantage now. You can see immediately Poby just wants to kind of dip out of mid lane, doesn't want to be on the business end of that field.
True. He's already struggling enough as it is, has his flash available, but Elyoya just has to press one single button and to set up the snap engage, the first pick Vi. I think the reason will be shown once we see mid-jungle cooperation is Dragon going to be started by Rhilech. Elyoya is here, level 5 versus level 6. The power of Elyoya right now is dangerous as Parus comes to help.
Yeah, he's engaged though.
Again, the shield is up, Aqua Prison as well. Rhilech disrespect. Elyoya's one hit away though, and will give a kill over to Sam D. A 1-for-1 as Navi mid laners are fighting up top while Alvaro running out of mana.
We're back into just seeing what's going to happen around this dragon.
And as you said as well, from this point, Navi in a good position maybe to pick up the Drake. Obviously both junglers are dead, but as soon as Rhilech maybe gets that ultimate, as he's stuck at 7 seconds. Now that's not the case. Junglers will be alive pretty soon, and in fact now. But it's all the fight over the dragon. Navi's kill went over to Sam D, and Sam D with a kill is exactly where they want the gold right now. In response, looks like Alvaro picked up the kill as Jojo got the first blood earlier on. So there we go. Okay, Dragon's still the thought process, but for now, junglers are just clearing up top side. They're going to go for the respawn, and we'll see that fight again shortly. Yeah,
as you say, everything on the top side's respawning, so jungler's going to try and clear down towards that bottom side, but we're just going to get a replay of the fight. So you can see Jojo's not able to go through, but it's Elyoya who has already gone forward, so it's a trade of junglers, thanks to Sam D being able to get some nice damage in towards the back. And then flash force from Alvaro. So it does mean with the level 6 now hit, there is a potential to try and make some plays down towards that bottom side with Rhilech. So you can see the Vi is already moving down there as you get a little bit of support attention towards the mid lane.
Yeah, Parus is getting the push out as well, so maybe Poby can move over to this start. Maybe it'll be Grub's trade, in fact, for Navi, but we'll just see for the time being. A red buff is being taken for for the moment, rather, is Rhilech now has level 6, so he's a bit more global, a bit more movement here, as bot lane in a very good wave state right now for CMD.
Yeah, just trying to keep my eyes on both these junglers, because ideally you do have Dragon taken before Void Grubs are up, but now you kind of open up where there is a potential for you to try and trade both of those objectives. But you should have push continue on this bottom side, and it looks like with the early move from Parus in towards the mid lane, Poby was able to get pushed there. So I mean, NAVI were able to get this objective. And you're seeing a quick reset from Elyoya, means he's more than likely going to start moving up towards these Void Grubs to try and trade for it. But I'm curious if it opens up some sort of play on the bottom side for NAVI now.
Maybe, but Dragon's on regardless. Rhilech is going to hover, he'll get scuttled. Grub's in question as Elyoya comes back out on the map, but an early objective for Navi that looks pretty good here as the wave is just going to push into Navi's bot lane. And they'll receive it as Supa. Yeah, he's just going to back off, probably reset and build more towards his Triforce.
So it's just going to be that trade. Does mean that Maynter has to be a little bit careful on the top side, but in the isolated 1v1, he's been doing a decent job. Has a good amount of CS there, and this is kind of what you're hoping for when you have the Aatrox. Because ideally, I think what they're hoping for with Maynter was you'd end up with an engaged support as well, and then you can try and play with the Aatrox into these, 2-3 melee champions. But I think with both Myrwn and Elyoya there, you should still have decent healing and a decent opportunity as Maynter to have impact in these fights.
He's doing fine in the individual 1v1, 300 gold lead at the very least, as Myrwn's about 10 CS behind, but it's lending itself to the matchup right now as Jojo looking for Poby. Elyoya is nearby once again after taking away those Raptors, or rather Void Grubs. And everything's going to chill out for a little bit as well. I feel like after that last fight, that pause just slowed everyone down. That's the thing about pauses in League, and especially in pro play, when there was so much momentum on the map and there was a lot of fast play having reached level 6. It's not just the fact that, Jojo's ulti was down for a little bit, it's also the fact that these teams are kind of resetting after waiting 10 minutes to get back in to what the start of this game was.
Still, I think you kind of heard Finn on the desk talk about this as well. For Navi, it's about trying to play through strong lanes. And when you've already kind of isolated these lanes to a certain extent, and you have winning in both top and AD carry, it makes things significantly easier for you as this game goes on. Because you want to start trying to play with this Pantheon to try and make plays on side lanes. So from this position, I think Navi should be relatively fine. The only kind of problem they're having is this mid lane, where Jojo has done a really good job, point to case, of getting some damage onto Poby.
And Rhilech is looking for an angle through this mid lane as well, but how he hovers in is going to be difficult as wards are spotting him out. One controller there that he can't even risk going near. Poby stepped up to this. Threaded volley's hitting him. Seismic shot flushed away from. Jojo's lane continues to be impressive, both as a player and in the matchup.
And he's also setting up for... Oh no, actually he's just going to clear this out. I was about to say a bit of a freeze, which makes him very safe. And would force Poby to overextend, which could make some sort of play open up here for Elyoya if he wants to.
It opens up the jungle for Elyoya at the very least. Further to that, the Gromp spawn is there. Maybe an angle on bot lane.
Well, Pantheon's already here.
Genius, you're right, but with the Pantheon ult, or rather Pantheon standing there on a ward, I guess Elyoya is just hovering in case something happens of it. I can say maybe ult's the turn, but Elyoya is clear of vision as a control ward, holding the Tri-Brush for now. Scuttle Crab are going to be taken as well. Niche little movements there from MKOI, but nice ones.
Yeah, still, I think this is more about trying to protect this push from MKOI so Supa can actually get the reset in. And now you can see Elyoya basically moving to shadow mid, ensuring that Jojo can now push this in because he didn't reset, so Jojo will want to get a reset as well. And it should set them up relatively nicely for, a minute and a half time when that dragon comes up. Supa's still a little ways off, I'd imagine, from the Triforce, but might just be able to get it if he picks up place here on the bottom side, which I think he's sticking around for.
Should get it right. A quick back here from Alvaro in the meantime. Not going to walk up. Maybe a little bit too risky. Again, that Pantheon changes the whole aspect of the game. Rhilech still has to pop an ulti, but he does have Sundered Sky. Good damage coming from Maynter as we look back towards top. He's got Sundered Sky as well. So this first item's coming on board clearly for Navi, as well as on the other side, that Triforce you're talking about, finish for the bot lane of MKOI. Sundered Sky there for jungle. And we're just seeing the role quests go along with it as well. MKOI are the first to do all 5. Navi ain't too far behind. I think Poby has been bullied a little bit in the lane and spent some time out of it. So 10, 20, 30 seconds more and Poby should be finished as well. We should be all done.
You can see, though, the bot lane push is evening up now with Supa picking up that Triforce. So it makes things a little bit more difficult for Navi to actually get pressure on this bottom side. So for MKOI, I think that's where you're happy, because you've got no flash on this Azir. It gives you an open opportunity to try and take a pop shot at him before this dragon spawns, or even if the fight comes down to it.
20 seconds till break. Minute 20 till Herald. Oh, he's going to get a quick reset in. And there was actually a quick one from Rhilech as well right before the objective. Thought about a pickaxe, but went for the Tarbies instead. So worried about the 80 damage that's going to come through. Not about the chain CC that can follow, but I guess Merc trades against the Nami's like, or you get flicked back as like, oh well. I'm probably dead at that point anyway. The layering of CC from MKOI on one target is kind of disgusting. Like, if you get locked down, the pick is so easy for this team.
Yeah, and I think that's where it is going to be very dangerous, because at least on MKOI, you've got that true tank on the top side.
Yep.
So you can kind of face check, but you don't really have that luxury for Navi. At least Rhilech does have that Aegis Assault to dissuade a lot of that damage. Still though, this is what we're talking about. Push in mid, and good control on bot. Parus!
Close. Heal comes out. Tangle Barbs do connect. That probably saved his life. Rhilech just had to stand there and watch. A summoner down is still a summoner down, and that's a nice move from MKOI.
But I think that might have actually just gotten MKOI the dragon, because...
SAMD.
Oh, SAMD as well.
Foster's bomb flashed away from. The big one was there too. That was a kill. And another big step up, another bad step up from Navi, and MKOI are going to punish.
Yeah, nicely done by MKOI, using the fact you got the slow and auto on the Nami, the Triforce procs. This is a very nice item spike, or at least a combo spike, for this MKOI bottom lane, and they're using it really effectively.
Zero mandate with a Corki with Triforce. It just feels so much stronger. Easy to proc, easy to take those summoners, and easy to take the dragon at the end as well. Chemtech rolls into a Hextech, and now we think about the Herald. Navi going to reset, look towards top lane. Poby using the home guards through the lane to get that quick reinforcement. Maybe just to accept the wave and then move down for the potential. But MKOI here to chase. We're going to have to fight around Herald.
Maynter does have TP, should be able to catch this wave and potentially teleport in. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a slow move for Navi over towards his objective. Whereas Myrwn, he's just immediately moving down towards his bottom side using the Hex Gate. So MKOI all in on a fight at this Rift Herald.
They're going to start it off first of all. High exposed, good damage, and already we're off to the races, but a little bit slow here from Navi. And Poby's just holding back at turret. Their option maybe not to contest. Rhilech's going to peek his head in, but again, slow is the word I'd use, Dagda, because his health's pretty much gone. Yeah,
I mean, they were looking at that bottom side, but Jojo moves down to cover the wave as it hits that bottom lane tower, and they already moved Myrwn into position. So honestly, nice moves here from MKOI on the map stays. Like, yeah, you lose the plate, but you get the Herald, you get the wave boss, and you get it onto a carry rather than Myrwn. So all said and done, MKOI really happy off the back of that.
Mainter's going to steal the Krugs in the meanwhile in our picture cam, or rather in our map. But Navi are still trying to find a pick off the back end of the play. He said it, SAMD got a plate. I'm not sure if Maynter got one down in the bot lane. But regardless, the fed Aatrox is just going to stay in his lane, stay there isolated. He did take the Krugs in the end. I saw him on the camp for quite a bit. So it's a nice gold injection. And he is the lead right now. Yeah, sure, SAMD has the lead, but it's because of the kill. But Maynter has a pure CS lead over Myrwn.
Yeah, the thing is, though, for Navi, what you want to be using is this Pantheon to go for cross maps.
Yep.
If they're all invested on Rift Herald, well, then you should be ulting boss and trying to kill Jojo and moving Parus in as well. But because it committed resources to the top side and Parus went for a very late reset, they're not actually in a position to go for anything on the map. So for MKOI, the fact that you're not getting value from this from this Pantheon is a win in and of itself. And sure, you've still got like Caitlyn and Azir who will scale well, but it's giving you these moments where the game hasn't blown out of proportion and you're about to hit these 2 autumn spikes on a bunch of your carries.
And you go into a mid-game versus a Taliyah Vi who can start doing things like this. They can play side lane as Maynter goes into the fire instead. Elyoya hovering there, the clone going to spot him out, and Jojo almost found a pick off. Maynter still takes a lot of damage, but regardless, MKOI don't get their wish of finding that dead Aatrox.
And Supa now, still clearing well against SAMD, so not even winning out on the mid push anymore. Now MKOI all moving down towards this bottom side, trying to just guarantee themselves a tower. And they're even investing more gold into Jojo. Like, he is the strongest portion of MKOI. Hey. And they're kind of realizing, hang on, as long as Jojo can win out on the side lane, then you have to put these resources as Navi into trying to push him back. And Navi right now just don't really have those resources. Like, sure, you have the Pantheon, but it hasn't really worked out.
Maynter Okay,
there
wings out,
okay.
Wings of Fury, interrupts Jojo. That one ate a bug. That's for real as Rhilech knocks down the kill.
And that's what you wanted to see. Navi immediately getting that ultimate off. And good job by Maynter as well, just flipping Jojo before he can escape.
Meanwhile, Poby in a bit of trouble in the top lane. He's got Flash available, it doesn't pop, but he knows he's dead. Decimating smash into the hand. Elyoya slapped him silly.
And that's a good cross map from Elyoya, but now Navi trying to collapse.
Vault breaker over the wall. Rhilech is there waiting, stun out as well. Parus gets the flash out of Elyoya. The enemy jungler running away from Navi, the tidal wave. Good defensive maneuvers. Vault breaker back in with an Acro Prism, but hang on a minute. Hang on a minute! Pop blossom from hell! Parus sets it up. Elyoya has to stand his ground, but where's the damage? Supa just got to kill Parus. Maynter now in without an ulti. And the stun up onto Myrwn. Yeah, it's great, but the damage wasn't there. A root comes in after the TP, and now the top laner just has to stand and look at MKOI. So uncoordinated from Navi of what looked like an overstay from MKOI.
MKOI just realizing, hang on, your damage dealers aren't here. It's a Pantheon and a Neeko, and we've got Supa on mid-wave. We can immediately collapse on this, and they get the kill. And again, MKOI, this is what we wanted to see from. This is the team that people were afraid of. Great map play, great understanding of how they can push their advantages.
Yeah, they get credit.
And this is just a good show of it. Understand they need to cross map because the Pantheon just showed up boss. Immediately get the kill onto Poby. And then here as well, the Caitlyn is stuck on midway because you've just pushed in with Supa and Alvaro. So Supa and Alvaro get to move across first. Caitlyn has to take the long way around. And this is just 2v3. Like, Sam D can't really do anything in these fights.
They're really nice pop blossoms, but Alvaro's doing so much work here. Supa just gets to step up, and we just saw Maynter in the bot lane. They got the kill, but he used his Wings of Death for it. Myrwn great zone control after the fact as well. Maynter has to flash over the wall, or rather get out over the wall. Alvaro gets ganked by the Aatrox again, but he can't do much.
Alvaro shouldn't have gotten away with that, to be honest.
No.
He face-checked into the Aatrox, and Maynter doesn't hit Q1, doesn't set up then for the rest of it, and Alvaro is able to walk away. Very lucky on that play. Myrwn now taking that top side. Still has that TP advantage over Maynter if MKOI want to try and push in. But yeah, MKOI, they are coming alive in this game.
They are, and they're playing on the edge. I mean, talk about like a style of MKOI. I feel like when they're at their best, they play on an edge like this, right? That looked like a risky play. That looked like something they shouldn't have gotten away with. But they do, because at their peak, MKOI are 5 players that play on the edge of risk. MKOI also going to get themselves a dragon here. The stacking has begun. The gold lead has started to grow. Jojo in the lead from start of this game to now where he is. 21 minutes in, mid-turret falls. And MKOI are starting to break apart the pieces of Navi's dream.
Elyoya waiting on his cue to come back off cooldown. Sam D trying to play very far away from what is unknown territory in his own jungle. But it just, again, Supa getting to clear out the wave. There was a big gold lead for Sam D in that bottom side that is completely disintegrated. And Maynter barely holding on to what was a 1.2k gold lead, now down to a measly 500.
Yeah.
MKOI have evened up the lanes. They're not allowing Navi to play through this 1-3-1. You don't have enough firepower in Sam D to control midwave anymore. So Rhilech looking towards Myrwn in the top side, but I don't think you have enough damage here.
No, even with the Pantheon coming in, how do we kill Myrwn? This guy's almost got 2 items. They at least push him off to get the turret, especially since Sam D was on the way up as well. So gold evened out a little bit there, but breaking open the map, the next big question is, again, can they get this Pantheon rolling in the mid game? Can they start moving to these sides, Dagda? Because the time for playing through these strong lanes has ended.
But I think you have to start looking at a pick before this next dragon.
Yeah.
Like, if you can make some sort of play onto MKOI or they overextend somewhere, that's where Navi can try and bring this back. But from this position, it is very tough. Supa is playing safe in and around this mid lane. They have a ton of vision to make sure that he's fine. Like, you can see it at the moment, just how much vision is invested around this mid lane. Like, they just, anywhere that you want to move is going to be fine for Supa. And it means that it's just difficult then for Rhilech to kind of get an angle here.
Has been all game. 2-item Pantheon. We'll see how he approaches for, well, Baron's already up, but we'll sit on that thought for a little bit. It's Dragon in 3 minutes. MKOI are just still getting these pushes out and just absorbing gold. They've played time very nicely here as Navi move into the brush. They've seen the Fog of War play today, but Supa was also watching, expecting Navi to be in the bush, and there they stand. And Parus in Rhilech, really looking for a pick rather, to navigate the game. Ulti onto Supa, but Acro Prism, oh my god, Alvaro What a read! The big one maxes range as well, and this Nami is clean. This fish has been swimming for years as Poby gets out of there, but not for long. Here's the pick'em composition, and Poby gets smacked down. Elyoya and Jojo firing as well.
MKOI are just doing what Navi wants to do, but better. They're finding the picks. Poby wandering through river. Should not have been in that position, maybe expecting much more resistance in that mid lane. But now, MKOI starting to take down turrets. They're going to have items on reset as well. It's a great position for MKOI.
And it felt like it was a starting, secret recipe that was working well yesterday, even though G2 didn't get the win. Operation Kill Poby is continuing to be a success and at least lead to a gold lead. And
it may lead to MKOI being in playoffs. This is where MKOI needed to step up, and this is significantly cleaner than we've
Rhilech,
seen.
seismic shove back, he's got the shield up, but the whole team is here. Steps forward, knows he can't go anywhere, and Elyoya will survive. Outer turret goes down rather inner. MKOI just moved up to 4.5 and more. This game is quickly walking away from Navi.
But this is the stuff that we saw MKOI improving on last summer. Their side lane plays, play around Jojo and things like the Taliyah. This is kind of where we knew MKOI were at their most dangerous, and MKOI, we talked about in draft, they were feeding into this, we want to play back on this Azir pick, actually taking the Vi first, gifting over the Azir, so they could have Vi and Taliyah as an answer into it. And Jojo stomped Poby, to be perfectly honest, in lane. Like,
Absolutely.
It wasn't even close. And now, Navi feeling the brunt of that, as they're just bleeding gold across the map.
Mid-jungle diff this game for sure, right? Like, top in isolation has gone the matchup's way. Bot was not too bad, but Rhilech even vertical jungle. That's why Sam D and Parus got the extra push that they did, or more the comfortability. Mid-jungle has been gapping Navi this game. This is showing you why you can never count out MKOI. This is showing you why there are going to be some pretty sweaty rodents right now in the chat as Rhilech half HP already, stunned up. Aatrox tidal wave as well. And a Sion ult from downtown Myrwn flew in and shut the door. Now Nami backs up against the wall as Poby has nowhere to shift to. MKOI, when they see blood, they take.
That was so well orchestrated by MKOI. Myrwn coming in, the truck slams into Navi. And it's just putting a break on all this Navi hype. MKOI, like, this is a stomp.
This is a stomp now for sure. Baron is going to be taken. Rhilech has his ult even in 15 seconds in the dirt. And for MKOI, they're putting the finishing touches on this game. I mean, this has gone from close early game, a couple of moments, to an absolute wash. As Alvaro right now, stating case for MVP.
Yeah, Alvaro's had a fantastic game. But it's also just playing so well around, knowing that Navi have no vision. MKOI have been very clinical in where they've been placing their vision, how they've moved it forward, how they've cleared out that vision from Navi's side, which is just allowing them to make picks, with Elyoya, now with Alvaro as well, even Myrwn there to help. And there was no cross-match from Navi. Baron was going down, but they left the Dragon up. So now you kind of get that opportunity to take it here as MKOI, but Parus hoping that he can find some flank here.
This is going to have to be Poby levels of flank, ironically enough, from Parus in that bottom side brush. The patience from Parus must go beyond into this Dragon play. But for Navi, they've got Myrwn who has TP. The Dragon's already gone. There's no contest. And Parus is going to play the ultra long con, looking for that long bot push where he can run up the lane.
But Myrwn's on top side. So Poby had to go and answer, but it's already going to be a few plates taken off and a bit of damage done there. As the rest of MKOI, they just pushed in mid. Now they're grouping on this bot wave. And now there's so many points of pressure on the map for Navi. They just look lost.
Observers, can we go to the Sven cam, please, in bot brush? MKOI 4 members with Baron. There he is. Okay. Is this the moment? Can he do what the legendary support never could? The angle is here. He finds a new brush.
MKOI are fishing. They know something's up.
They're like, where is Parus? Jumping back in, the Weaver's Wall is out. They're a little bit fishy, you're right. Parus now caught out, and he's like, what do I do? Seismic shove avoided, but down he goes. The Navi support doesn't even have Navi nearby.
But can they make a play onto Myrwn instead? You got the ult from Rhilech, but Navi seems scared.
They got to do something because they are just passively losing 10k in the dirt. Baron's now going to open up bot turret. Navi had to make a play, and I fear it's way too late. It's flushed away from Rhilech. It just opens up Inhibitor. Guess what? Mid is now open as well. Maynter's like, okay, it's my turn, but he's isolated. One by one, they decide to go in. And now stepping up to the plate is Supa into Sam D. The flash engage, the flick back. Poby can't move. Navi are playing Spectator League of Legends. There's the pop blossom we were promised, but Parus, his team is dead. Navi were hyped up, you're right, Dagda, and the Ruts were hoping they could get it done today. But MKOI are fearless. Absolute domination over Navi to be studied. Looking once again like an insane team as they lock in playoffs in easy fashion.